Welcome back to the AoT Chronicles, an Attack on Titan podcast. I am Chaz Chard.
I'm Ronny.
Boy, oh boy, Ronny. Today we are covering Season 4, Episode 80 from you 2,000 years ago of Attack on Titan. What did you think?
Two amateur podcasters really nailed the title of that episode at some point.
Yeah. People probably think we're manga readers or we had our future selves tell us what was going to happen next.
Really impressive work by us, even though I think we said it was going to be the finale. Turns out it was literally the next episode.
And I wrote in my notes here, ask Ronny what he thought of this particular episode.
Thanks for putting that in your notes. It seems like if you were a good podcaster, you would have done that by yourself. I thought it was just all right, you know. Yeah. When you think about it, nothing really happened.
Yeah, it's a little slow-paced for me.
This far in, I was really hoping to get some more answers.
Yeah.
No, I mean, listen, it knocked my socks off. I came in wearing knee highs. I looked down at one point, I was wearing ankle socks, and then by the end, I was just toes out.
Yeah, we still didn't get any whereabouts of Kit's Worryman, which worries me a little bit.
Oh, you worried about Worryman?
I'm worried about Worryman, but the answers, they're just not coming. I'm afraid that this guy has either offed himself or he's just not around anymore.
Obviously, I absolutely love this episode, especially from the Ymir stuff to the end. I have a lot of questions early on that I don't think necessarily you have all the answers for, but we'll see how you do. We'll see how you do.
I'm the answer guy. Just ask me.
All right. I'm going to ask him.
Ask me one question right now. It doesn't even have to be about the show. I'll answer it.
I don't have a question. You caught me off guard, and I'm not that quick of a thinker. Well, we should sign up for an improv class.
You know, I've been thinking about that recently.
Have you really been thinking about that?
Yeah. There is some times where you are very good at improving and random conversations.
Aww.
I'll give you the compliment.
Aw.
Now, when we do this, sometimes not so much.
I couldn't think of a question, but that's very nice of you to say. Thank you.
I'll think of one right now. When was I born, Ronny?
You were born in April 1996.
Good job.
Got all the answers.
You did well. So should we talk about the episode?
I think we should probably do that before people start getting angry.
All right, well, we're going to start off with...
Oh, do you have the very popular segment that everyone's been ranting and raving about?
No. We're not...
Chaz's recap of the week?
I do not have the recap this week because...
all right.
Because there wasn't a good middle ground for me to come up with some things.
Seems like an excuse. We had one listener came out of the shadows just because she liked it so much. She's like, I've been listening for a long time, but that segment, that recap was so awesome, I thought I'd write in.
And here's the thing. I don't want to overdo it to where people are like, oh, that's just a normal segment that's not that good anymore. I'll only do it on good episodes, which every episode so far has been amazing. But
interesting.
This episode, for next one, I'll do it. Okay?
All right. Kind of seems like people don't know what to expect when they're talking about the Chaz man, but that's fine.
So, we start off with the fight, Grisha versus Frida, which I'm kind of glad we got. I wasn't expecting this. I thought we were kind of done with this whole segment. But Grisha's Titan just looks so damn cool that I'm glad we saw it.
If there was a NTFL, National Titan Football League, Grisha would be like the best defensive tackle the game has ever seen. He's going to have a breakout year in sacks, and then once the rest of the league starts to catch on and double team him, then come on, we all know the motto, 2 on me, someone's free.
Yep.
He's going to be a great teammate, and he's still going to slip through and get a couple sacks, even though his numbers are going to go down, but his worth is still top-notch.
Oh, I completely agree, and I wonder if Ymir in the Paths, when she was building him, this is what I have right here, is what was she thinking? Was she
I know exactly what she was thinking. She was saying, I'm going to build a defensive tackle that's really the kind of guy you want to build a program around.
Okay. So she's more of a recruiter, not so much a coach, I would say.
She's a talent evaluator.
Okay. Well, I even put right here that he kind of looks like King Fritz that we see here in a little bit. Maybe this was a part of some revenge that we have by Ymir herself. Okay? And
all right, just say things very cryptically with probably no meaning. I like that. Because I don't think you know where you're going.
Well, I do know where I'm going because he does the SMS. Okay? Do you want to take a guess at what
Second acronym we've used 5 minutes into the podcast. People probably don't like it.
The sumo butt smash is what I called this one.
See, butt smash to me seems like it would just be the SB. I feel like butt smash is one. It's hyphenated. That's just how I feel.
And I said SMS. I think it's SBS.
Right.
And I said, this is what me and my ex used to do all the time. We called it the SBS. And yeah, I would butt smash her.
Yeah, he really straddles her.
But yeah, he sits on Frida. He starts pulverizing her. Then he takes a good old bite out of her neck. And I came to the conclusion that women shouldn't fight. When it comes to a grown man in this situation, he's going to win every time. Okay?
Interesting take as we see perhaps one of the biggest girl power episodes the series has ever shown us. But
so he smashes the children and the wife, just straight up stomps on him. And then he grabs...
With his hands.
With his hands. It's a hand stomp.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of smashing and stomping and...
I don't know how well you're doing so far this episode. I'm on the lookout for you.
And then he grabs the older brother and squeezes him to death.
This is what I like to do with fortune cookies. They're not that good in the first place, so I like to have a little fun with them. I put them in the palm of my hand, and then I just squeeze them just like this. It's very satisfying. You get a bunch of different pieces, and they just kind of crumble. I don't know what that says about me, but it is what I do.
And the fortune always, for me, says, you will find love very soon. Still have yet to find it.
Still waiting.
That's why I don't believe in fortune cookies for that reason. Been having that for a while now. But yeah, this is a interesting perspective because we saw, like in season 3, it showed a little bit of this fight, but it gets a little more violent, I'd say, in this one. We then see him and Zeke again, and what I think is one of the most emotional parts in this series. Would you say that?
Well, don't say that because, once again, you were obviously in a very lighthearted mood because while we were watching what you just claimed was one of the most emotional parts of the series, you looked up to me and said, imagine if there's just a guy like walking through the woods right there. So don't tell me that it's the most important when you, in your head, have got just a random hiker a few yards away going, hey, do you guys know where the lake is? Oh, so you guys look like you're never mind.
Well, no, he would say, you guy, because he'd see Grisha hugging a ghost of nothing.
Never mind. Is that guy steaming? He just walks away and goes, I'll follow the moss to the lake, but was that guy fucking steaming?
Well, I did cry. You didn't see it, but I cried the last episode during this moment, and I had to cover it up real quick because I can't let you see me vulnerable. But we get the please stop Aaron, again from Grisha, as Aaron shoots Zeke out of the memories. Don't know how he does that. I'd love to see. Does he do like a little falcon punch, you think, with his mind?
I think he gave him a little hip shove.
Okay.
A little hip thrust.
And then Zeke asks Aaron if you put Grisha up to everything, saying that you could show him memories which suited you best. And then he realized that Grisha did all of this because of what Aaron was showing him. He was just showing him bits and pieces of the future. So basically, Grisha was a puppet the entire time, is what I'm getting from this.
All right, so let's break all this down. Some of this might be out of order. You might not have talked about it, but I just have it in my notes, and these are where I have the questions. I'm still a little fuzzy on all this. How is Aaron so OP?
Well, I would say the Attack Titan itself, if you can get glimpses of the future, that's a pretty OP power, but not really, because you're just seeing, the future inheritor. But where he becomes very OP is that he now is in the paths, seeing the past, and since he himself is the Attack Titan as well, and the Founding Titan, he's essentially seeing the past with his future mind, which then sends signals to the inheritors.
I understand that when he came in contact with Historia, he saw certain things, but he straight up tells Zeke somewhere in here, I couldn't have done this without you taking me through Father's memories. So how much did he see? Is he, at that point, is he just waiting for opportunities to try and get, he had to play his cards pretty right to get into this exact moment with the Zeke.
And then Zeke even says here in a little bit, you couldn't have seen everything, though. So maybe he didn't even know this was what was going to happen, but it all just fell into place because it was bound to happen anyways.
And then this is where, so we get Grisha breaking down into Zeke's arms right here. talking about how bad Aaron's going to be. He can't stop anything now. But we know, from my understanding, that happened that exact day.
Yep.
When the wall came down. Grisha, like you said, whether or not there was a hiker going by, seeing him hug thin air or not, he had that moment with Zeke where he knows all this, and then he still is that just. And then Aaron even says, "We haven't gone to see Father eat me yet," or whatever, however he says.
And this is what I get from it. If we go back to like season 3, where we see Grisha meet up with Aaron and give him the power, he asks Aaron if he's all right, and he asks where Carla is, because Aaron didn't show him what happened to Carla. And then little Aaron says, she got eaten by a Titan. And that's when you see Grisha's face turn, and he goes, avenge your mother. So Aaron played his cards perfectly to get him to do what he wanted. And then when Grisha found out that the only person he loved in his life, Carla was eaten, he was like, well, now I'm just giving it to Aaron. This is fucked up. He's like, avenge everyone, is how I took that.
That's as good as an answer as we're going to get. As much as he's breaking down, I feel like that there's got to be more to it, whether Aaron... See, I don't know. Because obviously, if Zeke never took Aaron to go see that, why did Aaron even say, like, everything already happened? That's where you get into a time vortex of everything. It's like Grisha couldn't stop anything because Aaron was already there, but
they're essentially in the past. They're like outside of time. Time is like infinite and instant at the same time. So really, they're not even in time right now in the paths. Is how I take that.
Well, in the paths, no, but
so like in the paths, since they can go back and see all this past stuff, it's not really in time. So essentially, future Aaron, we'll call him Future Trunks, Future Aaron, he's seeing all this past stuff, and that's how, like, Grisha shouldn't be able to see the future of himself. He should only be able to see the future of Aaron. But since Aaron just went back through years of Grisha's life, that's how Grisha was able to see his own future.
What own future?
Grisha shouldn't be able to see his own future. Like, Grisha was able to see that, oh, I'm going to kill the royal family. He shouldn't be able to do that. But since Aaron has the founding Titan and was able to make it to the paths and is going back in the past memories, he is now seeing Aaron see that, since he's the future inheritor. So he's actually seeing his own future, which he shouldn't even be able to see. You see what I'm saying there?
I mean, yeah, that's...
See, like, the Attack Titan.
We just gotta keep going, because that's where I just get...
Like, the Attack Titan is really not OP unless it has the founding Titan as well. So that's how I guess Aaron is so OP. Where were we at? I have no idea. We just got
at the beginning of all this.
We got caught in a time vortex there.
All this stuff with
So yeah, then Aaron tells Zeke that he's grateful for him because his master plan was only possible because he brought him into his dad's memories, and Zeke is being used again. So Zeke's been used by his brother. He's been used by his dad. I would even say he was half used by Cassava-san. And this guy just can't catch a break, man. This poor guy. But Aaron said 4 years ago, he saw his own future through his dad's memories, the kissing of Historia's hand. And I put here, I can't imagine the PMT trip that he got from kissing her hand and seeing all flooded glimpses of the future.
And I will not say anything on that. You got one episode where you used PMT trip.
You would get from a kiss. He got that from a kiss. That shows him his own future as well. And I put, gotta marry her. If you kiss somebody and it's such love that as soon as you kiss her, you see your own future, you gotta marry that girl.
It's really just a one-sided relationship, though. I mean, Historia is not getting any love from that. If every time she touches him, he just, like, has life-changing, life-altering future visions.
Zeke then realizes that he's pretty much fucked right here. So he yells for Ymir to make it to where Eldians can't reproduce. He then says that Grisha told him to stop Aaron, and he regretted listening to you. I put, how ironic is this right here? Because Zeke has lived his whole life since he turned his parents in, despising his father and making sure he does nothing that his father says.
Yeah.
And now he's doing exactly what his father told him to do. So Zeke says, I don't know what kind of future you saw through those memories, but you didn't see everything, did you? He goes, you didn't even know that you couldn't use the founder right here, which is interesting. So Eren doesn't really see the entire future. It's like Grisha. Grisha was just getting glimpses of certain moments. He never saw just like exactly how everything was going to work out.
Right.
So does that mean Eren he could see everything that's about to happen even from now on?
Well, I don't know. That's the thing too. Is like, how does time work when Eren gets these visions? Is he going to the coordinate and spending as much time before he gets kicked out? I don't know. I mean, he kissed Astoria's hand for an awkwardly long moment, but I don't think that he's necessarily seen all that stuff. I don't know.
Okay, so let's go through this real quick. Royal blood, a regular human royal blood. He touches them, he can basically like unlock some memories. He touches a pure titan of the royal blood, and that gives him part access of being able to control like pure titans. He then touches Zeke, a royal blood that's a titan shifter, and that's how he can get pretty much access of everything. Right?
Well, only because Zeke took him there. So it's not like Eren had free.
Well, I guess, yeah. It gives him access to be at the place, to be in the paths where the coordinate is. It just doesn't... He didn't know that Ymir was a slave to royal blood people, essentially, I guess. So then while Zeke's saying this, though, we get Yuki Kaji breaking his vocal cords, from what it sounds like, while Eren is ripping off his own wrist/hand, trying to break out of the chains.
Owie.
He will keep moving forward no matter if you handcuff him or shoot his head off. This guy will forever move forward. Eren then breaks out, sprints toward Ymir, who's walking towards the coordinate, getting ready to do what Zeke told her to do.
Yeah, typing the keyboard.
Yep.
I think there's a keyboard, I'm pretty sure.
While Zeke says it's no use. Once she starts moving, there's nothing in this world that can stop her. And then we break straight into the OP.
I mean, we're lucky Eren got to her in time. It is an absolute bitch to run in loose sand like that. Mm-hmm. I'd rather rip myself out of the chains, honestly, than run a mile in loose sand. Yeah. It's just...
He's pretty quick in that loose sand, isn't he? You can tell. He's never actually ran in sand from what we've seen.
I never even got really the feeling that Ymir was close. He still had a good grace period, I think.
So after the OP, we get little kid Historia. And I forgot this woman was in this show until the hand kissing in this.
Yeah, seriously.
And this is
Frida.
before...
Talk about Frida, too.
Okay, well, this I put here is before the Horstoria phase.
Well, stop saying that. Talk about Frida instead.
This is when she was an innocent little
But talk
kid
about Frida, you bitch.
Wasn't screwing around with farmers. Big Dick Johnny. But yeah, she's with Frida, and they're reading that book again.
Frida's cool. I like her. She's very timeless.
Is. Frida tells her to blow her nose and be more ladylike.
I'd like to take her to a dance. Although she really got on Historia's ass for that running nose thing. Though. Yeah. That's not cool. They're literally leaning on a huge stack of hay. I'd like to run some tests. I'd bet my bottom dollar Historia is allergic.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, trust me. I know. I had to go to a special clinic for a total of 3 years to get allergy shots on a regular basis to try and keep them at bay. It did not work.
Well, you should have stopped sleeping in hay. Did you ever think about that?
Hay was only one of the issues. There were many.
So do you think Frida, instead of telling people to be more ladylike, if she would have been less ladylike herself, she could have fought Grisha off instead of getting absolutely pulverized and butt smashed and eaten?
No.
Okay.
I like that you're dying on that hill, though. I think it was essentially you coming across Aaron Donald on a football field, and that's...
Yeah, that's...
I don't think it was a fair fight, Chadley.
I think I could hold my own against Aaron Donald. All 150 pounds of me.
It's like you being like, if you thought I really bulked up for just like a winter, do you think if I came across J.J. Watt, I could take him? No. You're built like a toothpick. What are you talking about?
I bulks up a couple months. Little steroids. Could probably gain about 15 pounds and put up a fight. But yeah, she tells her to be more like the girl in this book, who in season 3, she says the girl's name is Krista. That's how Historia got her fake name, Krista. But then we get this flashback, and it's really Ymir. So was this girl in the book ever named Krista, or did she just tell her that to not tell her that it was Ymir? You see what I'm saying?
No, obviously, I don't remember. I think the story, it probably was just named Krista.
But it's actually Ymir.
I think that's what you're supposed to get.
Okay.
Just based off the way that it transitioned.
Cool. Frida says this girl is always thinking about other people because she's so kind. As we see the backstory of Ymir as she's getting water from a well. And it looks to be a blind village. Ronnie, did you have a take on this?
What's up with the eyes, dude? That's the kind of shit that I just know we are supposed to be taking something away from it, but I just don't think we got the chops, Chaz. I don't think they're blind.
Do you think...
They're going to say here in a second that they're going to take away one of their eyes. Like, I think...
Yeah, they're not blind, but...
So I don't know...
Do you think because they eventually end up being slaves, that's how they just portray them? They're just mindless walking around. They're going to be slaves here in a little bit?
Well, you said
this village.
No one has eyes.
Oh, you're right. Even King Fritz
the king
himself
didn't have eyes, so no. All I can go back to is, and this really, I don't know what it means. It's just something I remember with the eyes thing. You go back to Willie, Kin of Our Saviors, who put on the play of our generation. All of the actors and actresses that they were reenacting the story with were blindfolded. So something's going on with the eyes. Maybe. I don't know if it's important or not. I don't know.
Do you think they just didn't have enough budget to put eyes on these people?
Well, they had enough budget to put the blindfolds on the people.
Yeah.
So, they're taking away from the eye budget, putting it in the blindfold budget. Doesn't make any sense.
But she's so nice. She's getting this water from the well, helping out her village. Seems like an innocent girl. Nothing can go wrong. When an army shows up, and this is where you're going to have to help me out here. I didn't watch this televised series.
Yeah, this is just straight up, medieval times. It's a tale as old as time, really. Game of Thrones. You get this. It's just some people coming in.
To say hi?
Overrunning a village, raping, pillaging.
Yeah, they set ablaze the village and capture pretty much all of them as slaves. We then see these, I call them spearmen. Is that what we should call them?
Go for it.
Spearmen cutting out the tongues of one of the villagers. And it also looks to be, after they do that, they push Ymir forward. So I assume we come to see that she gets her tongue cut off too?
We never hear her talk. I do think that's what we are to believe. The more important thing I thought was, I urge everyone to go back and look. It's super quick. But when in line to get their tongue cut out, Ymir is standing in front of the man himself, he who must not be named, Lord Voldemort. He made a cameo. It was great.
Multiverse Voldemort, dude. I cannot believe they added this in here.
He's on the right of the screen. Just go back and look on your rewatch. He's there.
We then see Ymir watching a couple get married while tonguing each other. Did you catch this?
No, you said you want to sit here and watch this for a second because you paused at an inopportune time.
We don't get to see a lot of kissing on this show, so whenever we get it,
you're right about that.
You gotta watch it.
But I said, no, perv, let's move on. And there was no tongues.
I can only imagine, though, she's thinking, if only I had a tongue so I could tongue somebody as well. That's what I got from that whole scene right there. Yeah. But then again, can you live without a tongue? Is that possible?
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah.
Maybe they only cut off the tip. Because if you cut off a lot of the tongue, I feel like you're dead, right?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
You ever gotten your tongue cut?
Why do you think you would die? The tongue is for taste. It's just a muscle, It's.
I thought that if
not like it's an ore, like
I thought it bleeds very much. You could bleed out.
Oh well, see that's from my I've got a lot of knowledge on tongue cutting out. You have to do it with a very hot blade, so it cauterizes the wound as you're taking it off. Is I believe what you got to do.
So they're cauterizing. It's what you're saying. Mm-hmm. They're Okay. Now, what do you think they do with the cutout tongues? Do they?
Oh, people like this. Like I said, it's a very fatty muscle. I'm sure you're getting a lot of fat protein from it. So I'm sure they're eating it.
Because this is medieval times, so they don't have all the access to all these foods. And...
as you saw in a second from now, they had one pig. So Got to get a fat sort of that one pig.
I mean, how does that even happen? Don't pigs have to fuck each other to make other pigs, you know?
Well, that is how reproduction works, Chad, but I don't have time to go through that with you right now.
Well, think about that. You can't have any more pigs if you only have one. It's not like some pig's gonna... It's not like Flagle's gonna crawl up and plant its seed in it.
You're right. Perhaps they had a sickness and they had to kill some off. Or
God, man. I would love to live 2,000 years ago. So all of a sudden, though, after we see this couple get married, and we're supposed to assume that this is Eldia taking over. This is just a random couple from Eldia that she's seeing.
Well, the interesting thing is, obviously, we know that Ymir and her little village were Eldians, because she's obviously pretty Eldian.
Pretty Eldian.
Or else she wouldn't... But that's also... Well,
you think she's just...
She might not be, actually, now that I think about it.
She could just be a random village.
She might be the only Titan that's not Eldian.
But not Marleyan either, just a random villager that's...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it could just be a poor village, like a random land that they're taking over. But
then she obviously did the deed with the king, and so her children are Eldian, and then... I don't know, that's interesting.
But then we see that someone let the pig out. They let the pig out of the pen, and who did it?
Who did it?
Who freaking did it? King Fritz says, if nobody fesses up, everyone here is going to lose an eye. Because slaves... They don't need two.
No.
They can do with one.
Especially when they're just white cue balls. You guys can really do with just one.
Is a pig really worth that, do you think, back then? Now, I mean, what did that... With the pig...
it's not about a single pig. It's about honesty within the community.
Okay, well, as we see here,
if they let one pig free, it means they've probably let other things free in the past. You know, you got a problem, you got to find the root of it and deal with it.
So this makes sense.
This is good kingly work right here.
Did Ymir do it?
No, I don't think she let the pig go.
I don't know. Frida said that this girl was kind to everyone. She was probably kind to the pig and said, be free, my pig.
I mean, I'm not saying that she didn't let the pig go, but I also think she's living... I don't believe that she just did it in front of all these people, allowing them to just point the finger at her. I think she's living in a town with a bunch of snitches.
Yeah, well, why did they all point at her? This poor girl, dude.
Well, I looked around because I was like, okay, in a case like this, what you got to do, and it's a sad truth, but everyone knows, you got to point out the oldest fart there, okay?
Well, you know what's sad about this, though?
But there were no old
She's people. Not old. She seemed to be one of the weakest slaves, though, and I assume they just all pointed at her because she was one of the weakest slaves.
You look around, the old people, they probably got... If they even made it to old age in this time period, didn't seem like the healthiest conditions. They were probably killed upon siege, or whatever you want to call it, when they ransacked the village. And then secondly, there were no other kids around, really.
Yeah, and how old would you say this familia is at this time?
That's a great question. Don't call it a familia. I'm going to say she is...
Like 14?
She's just recently gotten her first blood.
First blood? Like she's like her license to drive a horse or what?
No. So she became a woman recently by medieval standards.
Oh,
we play by
God.
Some what I would consider much needed rules nowadays. But like I said, this is medieval times, and back then,
I see what you're
once
saying.
the shop opened, it was.
Her first bloody nose.
Once you got everything set up, they pretty much opened for business. There was no...
Her first bloody nose is what you're saying. Like, her bloody pelvis. Like the first time.
It makes me very uncomfortable talking about it, so yes.
Okay.
Let's call it a runny nose.
But this moment when they're all pointing at her, I got major Season 2 Ymir vibes. Where her whole clan or whatever that tried to prop her up as... Queen Ymir or whatever that was.
Right.
They all just basically did the same exact thing that they did to this Ymir. Mm-hmm. They all just threw under the bus. It's like a never-ending cycle. We're going to see stuff later. It's like stuff that just keeps repeating. By the end of the show, you know what it's going to be?
We're all pointing at Historia.
Yeah. End of the show, it's going to be future Aaron just dreaming the entire time, and it's all going to happen again and again and again and again and again. So the king then tells her, as she bows before him, that she is free. So I was thinking, wow, this guy's so nice. What a good guy.
What a stand-up guy. He's just like, listen, we can't have you letting loose pigs and animals or whatever. That's our life. That's our food. So just get out of here. We can't have you here.
We're gonna let you. You know what? Go run half a marathon. You're free to do whatever you want. We're gonna test your running abilities. And then as she's running, they just start to spear her down. They just start coming after her, shooting arrows.
It's a cruel world, bro.
And I was going to put here, she's not very fast. She's a lady. Not saying that ladies aren't fast. If I was in this situation, I would outrun the horses and these people, I believe.
You wouldn't. This is also, it's a classic move by people in charge. They don't want a guilty conscience. So what do they say? They say, oh, you're free, but also we will hunt you down.
Yeah, she gets shot in the leg with an arrow, gets shot in the arm with an arrow, and she stumbles down and then looks up to see the tree of life. This is the path's coordinate tree. So this little tree... think about this, Ronnie. This entire fucking show, we've seen this tree-looking thing, and it was an actual tree the entire time.
I'm not so sure. Jack called. He wants his magic beanstalk back.
So she's escaping from the men as she walks into the tree cave. There's now a cave in the tree. This thing, I mean, you would go in it too, wouldn't you? How sick did this thing look?
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool, or especially when you got people coming on your back.
Oh my! A lot of things look
especially
great.
when you have people running behind you. They didn't want any part of it. They were spooked by the magic beanstalk.
Because you know what's usually in there? Treemen. There's usually like some type of creature that will just, you never know. Like it could be, dude, for all we know, Sasquatch could have originally been.
And now that I'm thinking about it more, there's no way I would walk into this thing.
Even with 2 arrows in it?
With 2 arrows in it, maybe we'll see what happens. But I'm a very scared person by nature. I'm not brave or anything like that. So,
well, you would have never made it this far.
If I'm just roaming around.
If they told you were free, you'd have taken a couple steps.
They're going to have to put a few arrows in me because I got some cushioning.
But
I'm not going to be taken down by 2 arrows. Are you kidding me? You're gonna have to
she wasn't. Hey, she got shot twice and then just stood up and started walking. This was impressive stuff.
Yeah. It's going to take a few more to bring old Ronny down.
And I think they were being generous. These aren't the sharpest of arrows or the hardest of arrows. They were being nice here.
I also would go a few yards east where I've stored my pig companion, and I'd ride him to victory. You didn't think about that.
Dude, you're so right.
I did let go of the pig, but I stored him somewhere.
And you whispered in his ear before he ran off, go to the east coordinate this way. I'll ride you to victory.
I'm so good with animals.
But yeah, she walks into the tree cave and then falls. There's like a water slide.
It's a badass water slide. Now, while I said I wouldn't partake in just exploring this spooky magic beanstalk cave, I am all about this water slide. I'm an adrenaline junkie. Let me slide down. Although, can I also say, I've never been a big water park guy.
Have you not?
I'm not good.
There's not usually food venues around it, right?
Well, there are, but it's like I'm always wet, and you don't want wet hands grabbing that stuff. No, dude, how... I want to be able to look when I'm on a water slide, but dude, all the water is just splashing in my face and in my eyes. How am I supposed to...
What do you want to look at? You're in water.
Well, dude, I want to like see, oh, here comes the turn, I'm so excited, woo! You know, I don't...
Yeah. I just always pee myself.
Someone make a splashless water park, and I am so there.
How many gallons of pee do you think are in that water?
A lot, but I'm not a beta bitch, so I don't worry about it.
I don't worry about that either. That's a genuine question.
Well, obviously you are worried about it, because here we are talking about water slides, and you're worried about the volumetric amount of urine in the place.
If I was worried about it, I wouldn't take a urine every time I jumped into a swimming pool, okay? And if you don't take a urine in a swimming pool, you're lying. I refuse to believe that anyone in here, if they have to urine, they get out of the pool and go urine somewhere.
Well, you said anyone in here, it's just me and you, and I think we both know that we partake in that pastime.
Anyone in our podcast listening.
Yeah.
We're in everyone's ear canals right now. We are using the paths to talk to everybody right now. But anyway, she falls deep into water. Now, is this a real thing? Do trees actually have like Is there real trees out there that do this?
Have lakes inside of them?
Yeah. Well, it's not a lake. It's like a pond.
I don't know, dude.
See, I
it's
think
looking
this
pretty like ponds. Oh, show me one pond that's this deep, you fool. God.
I don't know my tree.
Oh God, I'm gonna go 20 feet down in a pond. There's never been a pond of that depth.
I don't know my tree anatomy that well, dude. I've got normal trees around.
Well, how about your water or body of water anatomy?
Well, now is this also on? Are we supposed to think that this is on Paradis? This island, everything that's happening right now is on Paradis, or is this, or just on the continent of Marley?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I would definitely say it's on the other continent.
All right. Well, she falls into the pond, okay, and she takes a little piss as soon as she gets in there, and then a parasitic worm alien type thing swims up to her and attaches to her spine.
Good name for it.
Essentially giving her the power of the Titans, and then she transforms into a massive Titan. And do you think, to me, this Titan looks as big as the Colossal?
Yeah, it's a big one, but maybe not that big.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Or else it's just more...
It's hard to tell when there's no walls around and it's just people on horses.
Yeah. I wouldn't say quite that big, but definitely bigger than a 15-meter, but very well structured.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the Colossal where it's slow, you know. It's got some movement to it. It's got some agility.
I'll give it 30 meters.
Do you think that the tree is still out there somewhere? Are we going to see the tree?
Now, it looked... I
mean, tell me how you chop down that tree. Not happening.
The tree is not out there. The tree is in the paths. And the only way the tree will come back is if the paths are destroyed. The tree then comes back.
Yeah.
And then it happens all over again.
Obviously.
We just figured out this story.
Clearly.
Good job, Ronny.
Clearly. When she died, the magic beanstalk died with her. And that is obviously the coordinate. Duh.
And now after that, we get Ymir. So we imagine that she turns into this thing and doesn't attack the chasers.
Yeah.
Which this is where it gets really disturbing.
They really skedaddled over that part, didn't they?
Well, I think we see why here in a bit, and it's very disturbing. We go back to Ymir, and she's kneeling before the king, who congratulates her for doing well. I put here it's some sick shit because she's basically enslaved to this guy and almost brainwashed to the point to where she's already she's like in the paths, how she's already everything for the royal blood. She's like that before she even died too. And it just carried over. I
buy that, spoiler alert, later on when she dies for him and has had her children. But right now, I don't like the bullshit. You got to show me more.
Well, think about it. If she was like this since a little kid, imagine being captured. Okay, imagine little Ronny. Little stocky Ronny, 5 years old. He's running around, playing outside. A guy comes up, captures you, takes you away.
First of all, I don't think she was 5.
Well, I'm giving you a scenario.
Okay.
He captures you, takes you away.
Yeah.
He stores you in his basement, feeds you only McDonald's, years on end. Okay? He's like, you're doing what I want. He grows up. He teaches you. He teaches you how to eat. He teaches you how to use a fork.
Well, obviously, I was already eating, so come up with a better scenario.
He teaches you how to wipe your mouth.
I have been eating.
And this guy, he just constantly feeds you McDonald's. He says, oh, do this favor for me. I'll give you McDonald's. You're going to do whatever that guy tells you to do because you were like that from a little kid.
The king wasn't even there. I don't think he went on this hunt, all right? She should have fucking punted these guys to next Thursday, all right? Past next Tuesday.
Well, she's blind. She's blind. Ronny.
I've got a gripe with that part, okay?
Well, and even if she was blind, she now regenerates, so she shouldn't be blind anymore. So you're right.
And her tongue. Her tongue should be back as well.
Her tongue should be back. She can be able to taste and tongue anybody she wants.
Or a more likely thing that she could have done that we didn't see, other than those 2 horrible things you said, she could have talked.
Yeah, but we never saw that.
No, we didn't. We also didn't see her tonguing anyone either.
I would say it's easier to tongue somebody than to talk. The king says that she built roads, cultivated the wilds, and bridged mountains. and his tribe Eldia has grown large, and he will reward her with his seed.
Dude, I hated that.
What?
Don't say that word like that. Also,
this was romantic.
This is the fucking worst reward ever. I know. I'd rather turn in my tickets for a couple Tootsie Rolls than this thing. Jeez.
Yeah, this guy looks like he's in his 50s too. He's not a good-looking guy, man. And who says they're seed? That's something I would say. Like, that's not...
Yeah. A fucking douchebag is who.
And then he says, in the name of Fritz, annihilate Marley. So we then see her fighting with Eldia to take down Marley. And, a couple moments go by. We see their army attacking. And then we see her sitting on a porch pregnant. And she looks just like Historia on the porch. Pregnant. And I'm not going to call her a whore because she seems like she's had a rough life.
Her Titan is so cool, by the way.
It is. I think it might be a top 3 Titan for me.
Whoa.
Top 3.
Well, that could definitely be in the moment thinking. I'll get your take later on after you've had a second to cool down. But it is very cool. So, it might be up there. Just calm down, okay?
Okay.
So, yeah, here we go.
Pass it off to Ronny.
She continues to just help Eldia dominate with the Titan as they continue to prosper and build a damn kingdom. She has 3 children. They're putting up castles and keeps. And there might be a bell tower. I didn't see it, but there might have been a bell tower.
So she's not actually building this stuff. She's just wiping out.
I think you're just to understand that, they've gotten, their force has grown so exponentially by taking over and stuff that there's no one to come try and take it away, so they have time to build a civilization. And
because we saw the reason
thy
I say
neighbor.
that.
I wanted to say thy neighbor so bad. Thy neighbor is my neighbor, so let's build something.
Okay. Because I was just going to say Tom Sava, when he was talking to Zachary back in season 4, part 1, he said that she touched the source of all living matter. So that's why I didn't, obviously in the past she's doing some weird shenanigans of building stuff up. Didn't know if,
No, we saw the hard work. Those guys had some blueprints and they were hammering away, making those structures. And that's really beautiful because when you do that, a part of you gets left in that building and they've been telling their generations about how their family helped build this stuff.
Hey, all ancient memorials and monuments were built by slaves.
Okay. And we move on that light note.
Oh, yeah, because this is such a light episode. What am I supposed to say, Ronny?
Well, yeah, it is a very light episode. Here we go. We have a town meeting. All right, we're welcoming in some new brothers of arms. They look like they're swearing in some soldiers from what I guess we could assume is the nation of Marley or just somewhere else. Obviously, there's a bunch of different things going on, but these look like some white dudes, so that might be Marley. When one wise guy gets fancy with it, throws his spear. Nice move.
Oh, dude, this was a sick throw.
It was.
You can tell these guys are way better with combat than, these pusswads who use machine guns nowadays. And they actually use hard-earned weapons, man.
Yeah, for sure. It was just a lot more time went into perfecting your craft.
Yeah. Because what else are you going to do? There's nothing else. You can't just watch TV. What are you going to do around there?
Can't do it. So he throws a spear. It's one hell of a shot. It seems like a bad way to do business, though, to allow recently overtaken soldiers remain with their weapons by their sides.
It does. It does. This is a mistake by King Fritz here.
And they got a lot done in a decent amount of time. So who am I to judge? They've obviously built this empire, but come on, take the spear away. Have a few meals with them before you arm them.
Yeah.
In this instance, though, it does put an end to our dear Ymir as she sacrifices her life for this dirtbag of a king.
Straight in the heart. Straight through the heart. And I put here, this could have been the fake Helos, the mythological figure that, that Willie Tiber and them created later on. They could have based it off of this guy right here.
Yeah.
This could have been through the history books.
put an end to the Great Titan War. And so the king tells Ymir to get up because she can't die from a mere spear. I thought that was a nice line from the King Fritz there. He says, and then he also is still calling her my slave, which, it's just not healthy to have 3 children with someone you're still calling your slave.
Times were just easier back then. For men.
She then arrives at the coordinate while back in the real world. They are chopping her up to feed her to the daughters. Yucky.
Yucky is right. Can you
it's
imagine?
It's the sequel to Owie. I don't know if we've ever done it before. I'm giving it a big ol' yucky.
I feel like we've become what is the word when you become? Oh yeah, we've become desensitized to cannibalism because we've seen massive titans eating people. It hasn't been humans eating them, but when you see mere young children eating a human body,
eating their mother's
bones, organs, blood, it doesn't look as good as when a titan does it.
So that was also King Fritz's great idea. He seemed like a pretty cool guy.
Well, did it work though? It work though? It worked.
Okay.
This guy's a genius.
The daughters' names, by the way, Maria, Rose, Sina.
Now, okay, I don't want to say that I'm a fucking genius. I've never said that about myself. But as soon as they had 3 kids...
Also, no one else has ever said it.
Well, there's been people that have said it. I've kind of downplayed it. But when I saw that she had 3 kids, I go, it's the name of the walls. And I should have said it out loud to you, but I didn't say it because I was like, oh, I don't want Ronnie to think that my future self told me about this.
Yeah, so. I should. That's crazy that you did that. I also should have called it because there was a few episodes back we were watching where I was like, dude, I bet Aaron gets decapitated. He goes up to the coordinate. He then goes through his memories with Zeke of his fathers. And then he then convinces Ymir that he is what we need to do to break off all this...
break this cycle.
This domination. Yeah. He then comes out with a very large spine and then starts the rumbling. I just didn't say it. But I thought about it.
Well, I thought...
I
thought about it first.
I'll give you yours if you give me mine. Mine seems more impressive, but we'll call it 1-1.
I think I thought about it first.
King Fritz finally reaches the end of his life from old age. He looks like he's about to kick the bucket. He tells his daughters to bear as many children as possible to carry on Ymir's blood. He says, if the daughters die, feed their spines to my grandchildren. This guy's all about spines.
So, getting this history right here. Marley's history of what happened and Eldia's history of what happened were both essentially not 100% true, which we knew.
Which history? That's how
history works. Even our history, even though people don't want to believe that, but essentially, Eldia is doing that to themselves. Kind of. It's kind of a weird, fucked up thing. You know what I mean? I mean, they did overtake Marley and everything, but they're devouring themselves, which is a weird twist I got here. Devouring themselves? What do you mean? Like it always said that the Titans ate all the Marleyans and all this, but really they were devouring themselves as well, which was, I mean, you have to do that to transfer power, but they were doing that in human form, which is a big twist, I thought. Yeah, I do think it's, while I don't necessarily condone the eating of the spines and all that, why? They are at least dead. Yeah, they're on the way out, Yeah, it's not like he killed her. He's like, I'm going to kill her and then you eat her. It's like she already died, so. Yeah. I mean, what's the big deal? It's like if I was on an island, had nothing to eat, and my buddy Ronnie over here died from like an accident. He slipped on a rock, hit his head, died. Was still alive, but I kind of finished him off. I would eat him. And you'll probably be able to last pretty long, so you're welcome. Okay. What would you eat first of me? A lot of protein on this boy. If I died in front of you, I was the only source of food. Oh, God, I would die in a week. There's no fat on your bones. What would I mean? Your ass is not very nice. Don't say nice. Don't say nice. I've been squatting lately. Probably your ball sack. That thing's really the largest thing you got going for you. It's very hangy. I've been told that a lot. It's very hangy.
Which is weird for all those people to tell you. It seems like they would have come up with a better name for it.
No. In the locker room, they used to call me Sir Hangs a lot.
Which was a terrible nickname. Really bad. Not creative at all. So, yeah, they're eating. The daughters die, feed their spines to the grandchildren. And we struggled a little bit with the whole how the Titan multiplying thing went.
I think I would eat your nipples first.
Okay, it tastes like pepperoni. If you just eat the spine rather than just get spinal fluid, do you just get powers? So we see the shot of 8 Titans, all accounted for except the founding Titan. Okay.
Yep, which is presumably Ymir herself, I guess.
Right.
Yep.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is we were like, how did they get to 8? If you just eat any part of Ymir, do you just...
Because the original story by Grisha, like in those history books, was she made a contract with the devil. When she died 13 years later, her powers split into 9 different Titans.
Mm-hmm.
So now we see that really she died after 13 years. Her 3 children ate her, so presumably they got... Do you think when they ate her, one of them got like the armor, one of them got one, or do you think they just turned into pure Titans?
No, that's a good talk. Let's hold off on it for a second.
Okay.
Are we to believe that the way you become one of the 9 Titans was also like lost in history? Did they just be like, oh, the way you do it is you got to become a big Titan, like a pure Titan, and then eat it when you actually didn't? If you just ate someone's spine,
my God.
You could have, but they were like, oh, I don't want to eat something as a human. It's easier to do it if I'm just a mindless Titan, and the spine is part of the whole body.
So really what you're saying is that, like, say they capture Reiner and just eat they're in their human form and they eat his spine. Yeah. Now they have another Titan power. Is that what you're saying?
Perhaps.
There could be more than 9.
Right. Just because obviously these 3 girls, they're just part Eldian, right? They never became a pure Titan. Looks like they just ate some of their mom's ordeal and became...
Oh, her ordeal. Don't say it like that.
Well, there's just a lot going on there, It's not so much the spine. They ate her all, so...
Oh, dude, just imagine seeing them, like, sucking on the spine.
Well, I don't think they were necessarily... I don't think they were taking their time with it.
What if he made them? What if he said, take your time?
I don't think he said, act like you're having the most delectable meal of your life.
Just like a chicken wing when you just slurp down the meat and you're just essentially sucking on the bone. They're just, oh, God. What is this world, man?
It's okay. So do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I know what you mean.
But then the question was, what about the founding Titan? Obviously, when we see the picture, there's only 8. We know the founding Titan's out there. She was the founding Titan. The 3 daughters ate it. How did we decide which one? They all couldn't have gotten the founding Titan powers. Was
that just because she died, so one of the next Eldians that was born, it was passed on to them? Perhaps,
yeah. Because that's all the rules and stuff are kind of like, how the heck did we come up with that, You're right. She lasted 13 years. Was that just something that was put out in the ether? Is that something that she's doing up there from the coordinate?
Lost in translation.
Is she the one just killing? She's like, oh, this one's 13 years. I'm pulling the plug.
Oh, you're probably right. She's thinking, oh, well, I didn't get to live longer than that, so you don't either.
Yeah, it's not actually something that's part of the Titan. It's all part of the coordinate. She's doing it.
So could Aaron convince her to just end the Titans altogether?
Yeah, I'm saying it right now. We thought at the end of this, all the people who were Titans, 13 years is up, they're dead. Nuh-uh. There's going to be some funny business at play, folks.
Yeah, seems like everything is going to be all right.
This is going to have one hell of a happy ending. But no, the shot of all 8 Titans and being able to pause it and pick out which one's which, that was a good time. I like that.
The Warhammer looked dope.
It did. So we see Ymir in the coordinate molding colossal Titans one bucket at a time. You got to get that sand wet to really mold the structure. You don't want to work with loose sand.
I know. I love how Zeke was like, she can make anything she wants, but she only makes one bucket.
Yeah.
It's like, Okay.
She built an elaborate staircase to be able to get the height that she needed to build these colossal titans, but you know what? She went, I need one bucket. So many trips up and down. And because of that, she's tired. She's falling down, dropping the bucket. And overdubbed at this point is old King Fritz saying, even after I pass, Eldia will dominate the lands with its monstrosities.
I don't know if we've ever mentioned this before you keep going.
Yeah.
So she's essentially built all the Titan shifters and stuff. Do you think she was like, oh, that bitch Ymir taking my name, I'm going to give her the shittiest looking Titan?
Oh, yeah. We decided that a while ago. She just absolutely shit on Ymir.
Shit on her and made Aaron's just have cum gutter abs.
King Fritz goes on, our Titans shall reign supreme for eternity until the world's end. And then Aaron breaks it off. Says, I'll end it. I'll put an end to this world. Give me your strength. We see him. He's now holding Ymir. He made it. He trekked through the sand.
He did.
Got a hold of her. He says, you're not a slave. You're not a god. You're just a person. You don't have to bow to anyone. You decide. It's your choice. Do you want to stay here for eternity, or should I end this?
And I love this. Aaron has been trapped within the walls, and he's saying, I'm ending this shit. We're being set free, Ymir. Let's go have babies. Let's do this.
Meanwhile, I don't know if he said that. Meanwhile, Zeke stands up and starts his long, hard trek through the sand as well. As he's telling Aaron to stop, Ymir, I said, make Eldians unable to reproduce.
And he's never been a good runner. We saw him when Grisha watched him in training. This guy's never been able to run. He's just only been able to pitch. So.
Add once again the sand to the equation. He slips up a few times. You can go back. You can see it.
Even though he's beefy and abbed up, he can't run.
Meanwhile, Aaron whispers, are you the one who brought me here? You've been waiting this whole time, for 2,000 years, for someone. And right as Zeke gets to them, Ymir now has bright blue eyes, filling up with tears because of course she does.
She was waiting for someone to love her. This is a good love story. Aaron and Ymir, they're going to... this is so sweet.
Anything else on your great love story that produces blue eyes? No, asshole.
No, this is awesome, though, because obviously her whole life she was just treated as a slave, and finally someone is not treating her as that. Like, even Zeke was treating her as, do as I say, do this, and Aaron is like, he's doing the same thing, but being his manipulative self, saying that it's really freeing her.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool.
Back in Shiganshina, the magic sea ghost vertebrae jams itself into Aaron's decapitated head.
So he wasn't doing a handstand. Whoever said that, though, that was a good theory.
I like that.
He wasn't doing it.
Some of the biggest lightning we've ever seen rains down. And it's at this point that I say, oh shit, he is about to look so crazy. But not so fast, Ronnie. It's crazier because the walls start to immediately shatter. We thought we might have just seen the end of Flock and Magath as both of them fall into the crumbling walls. More on that later. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
Well, I want to say this too. When it's coming out of his head, I put right here, it's showing that this man is no longer a nape dweller. He is the fucking Titan now.
Ooh, okay.
That's what I caught from it. It's growing from his head.
Yeah.
So that essentially means that he is he the fucking Titan now? Like, he himself. He's not even a human anymore. He technically did die, but his new body is the Titan.
I got mad when you said nape dweller, but then you made a pretty good point, so you won me back over to your side. Congratulations. Nape dweller.
God. Damn, when you say nape dweller, it makes me like what I said even more.
Where do you come up with this stuff? It's just... You're just like stumbling through life. I don't get it. It's really a magic touch you have. So what are we talking about? Oh, yeah.
Nape dwelling.
The walls are crumbling down. What a moment. Never thought we would get it this early.
And dude,
dude,
think about the walls coming down. Like, anybody that's near them, they're going to die.
Yeah, they sure are.
These are big walls, man. These aren't small.
Although, a lot of people are near them, and I think they might be okay. In theory, yes, you're right.
You know, we got some ODMers, so they'll be able to get away. the Titans shifters, they shouldn't die from it. But, like, if you're just a civilian standing near it, you're fucked.
Right. Yeah, I never thought we'd get it this early because I was sitting there thinking, there are 7 more episodes. What are we going to be doing?
We're going to be rumbling.
You seem like you got all the answers. What do you got for me?
We're going to be rumbling.
Gabby's watching all this go down being like, damn, all I did was snipe the guy.
Yeah. And this is when I said, you should have gone for the head.
It's like when you're playing a video game and you're fighting the boss, and maybe it's a really hard level. You couldn't beat him or whatever. It took you a few tries. Then you finally beat him. You're like, all right, yeah. And then he immediately just rises stronger. You're like, what the fuck, dude?
This is like a Dragon Ball thing where you're like, oh, I defeated him, but really then Goku just has another final form. This is like his 70th final form.
He's got one more in him. Aaron's spine, it's growing exponentially. The Armored Titan, it's racing to protect Gabby. And then we get a calling card. About time. It was the only thing this episode needed to really round itself out.
This was awesome.
According to legend, the founder Ymir obtained the power of the Titans when coming into contact with quote-unquote something. For generations, her blood and power were passed down by the Eldians.
Parasitic, alien-esque looking thing.
Vertebrae.
Parasitic, alien-esque vertebrae worm.
Okay.
That's what it is.
But a worm is a non-vertebrate. So you're...
Yeah, but this is an alien species, so really a worm and a vertebrate can exist in alien tech.
All right, it's got a few kinks. We'll work them out.
But this it doesn't. Obviously, this is very, very alien-like. This wouldn't really make sense, but to me, it makes sense in my own head. It's like a parasite.
Okay.
They ate her.
Right.
So the parasite went with them. So that's how anybody that was born and is an Eldian is born with part of the parasite in them, and it just takes a little spinal fluid for that parasite to get triggered and cause everything. It's pretty cool.
Nice. Love that. Back in the episode, Aaron is in the process of becoming Godzilla.
Yeah.
Colossals are marching towards the sea.
This is what I heard in the music. Oh no! This friend has got to go Godzilla.
I wasn't familiar with that song, but I loved that rendition of whatever it was.
Guitar Hero 1, I think.
Okay.
Oh, and I put here, when you see the Colossals, compared to the abomination of whatever animated 3D thing we got of Bert in Season 3,
right?
These things look fucking dope.
They're very cool. They've been waiting. Mm-hmm. They've been waiting, chomping at the bit for a few years to be let loose.
Think about that, 100 years of just staring at a blank wall.
You think they were chatting in there? You think they were talking?
Yeah. Were they holding hands, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe their arm. We've seen something before. I think their arms were interlocked. Camaraderie. Mm-hmm.
Aaron's Titan scream. When he's doing that, too, he's screaming. And
it sounds pretty normal.
It does.
Which sounds like Mr. Friendly Nice Guy, but...
But as we know here, I've got a new name for this guy. And
well, wait, hold on.
I'm holding off on it.
Don't you fucking do it yet.
I'm holding off.
Dude, don't do it yet. Stop it.
I'm stopping.
I can't believe you tried to do that. Stop it. Holy shit. All right. Armin tells Mikasa, Aaron did it. We won. Yikes.
Okay, when you said this earlier, Reiner was running towards Gabby. Mm-hmm. Where the fuck is Falco? We've got to protect this man.
We saw him. We saw him later. I'll tell you in a bit.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure. Okay. Now, when I tell you where he was, you might not like that part so much, but okay. I think it's got an easy explanation. Don't worry.
All
right. He says if the rumbling has begun, Aaron is behind it. He's going to crush the global alliance assembling in Marley.
Aaron is our ally.
And he always has been.
Yep.
We see Yelena.
Nothing can go wrong.
She's worried about Zeke, but we have bigger fish to fry at the moment, so I'm going to stop talking about her. Okay?
Yeah, I imagined a massive breakdown from her where she just goes insane, but all she said was Zeke.
Mm-hmm. Mikasa, she is in her feels. She's like, Aaron came home to be with us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Armin then realizes, hey,
Wait a minute.
This seems a bit overboard.
He's like, this seems a bit excessive.
To take down a certain alliance in one country, the entirety of Walmart has fallen. This seems a bit excessive.
Why is it so loud?
And then Aaron goes full Voldemort, you don't get this, with a morning announcement via the intercoms known as all of the Eldians' brains.
Through the paths.
He says, "Hear me, subjects of Ymir. My name is Aaron Yeager. I'm using the Founding Titan's power to address all subjects of Ymir. I've undone the hardening of Paradise Island's walls." And it's also a cool shot because we're going from Eldian to Eldian, seeing them all as in the coordinate, in the paths, you know? They're playing in the sand. Mm-hmm. And I won't name all of them because we really do. We see Jean gets a moment, Connie, all of them. Falco is laying down like unconscious.
Oh, that's right, because he's just transformed back into a human.
So you thought a lot was going on for everybody. That poor little guy, there is a lot going on.
And okay,
stressful way to go through this stressful process.
You're naming all these people.
Yeah.
We did see that part of like the parasite looking thing looked like it swallowed Zeke before all this happened. Did you catch that? Because we don't see Zeke at all after this.
Okay, I did not catch that.
It looked like the spine like kind of grabbed him.
Okay. And
we'll go back and watch
Did it yank him? Did it yank him?
I think it yanked him because we don't see him in this.
Oh, God. Okay.
It's not a good thing.
Aaron continues. "The Titans buried within have begun their march. My goal is to protect the people of Paradis and the place I was born." We then see the only hero that will be able to get us out of this mess, motherfucking Keith Sutties. Way to stay away from the wine, my boy. Way to just continue and prosper.
He's more of a hard liquor guy.
Let's go. So happy to see him.
You'll never catch Keith with a wine glass in his hand.
And he was so cool, calm, and collected. Yeah. He was like, "Oh, yeah." He was like, "I think I've been here before." I think that's what he said. He was like, "Oh, yeah, I think I've been here before."
Yeah.
Aaron continues. "However, the world wants to exterminate my people, and not just on the island. As we see all the people from Liberia, they've taken a short vacation trip to the coordinate as well.
I would not want to be one of those people."
And then this was a bummer. Damn it, we also see Flock is still alive.
Dude, I put right here, Flock looks like an ancient hero. He's got his sword planted in the ground, like in the sand, kneeled down with blood on his face. He looks like he just slayed a dragon.
It's a real bummer. I hate that guy. Can I say my part about Flock here?
Well, I'm talking about Flock. Does Triple F look like he just slayed a dragon? Yes.
No. He looks like he just forgot that he had ODM gear and fell all the way down from a 50-meter wall. I hate him. I've always hated him. I've never said one good thing about him.
I like to think he killed one of the Colossals on his way down.
Aaron goes on. "However, the world wants to exterminate my people, and not just on the island. They will not stop until every last subject of Ymir is dead. I refuse to let them." And then we see Historia in a rocking chair looking very concerned / sad / oh shit.
Do you think the Eldians on Marley, after hearing that sentence that Aaron just said, kind of shit themselves? Because think about everything.
Yeah, no, that's a good little test that you're doing there. At what point do they all start looking around and go, "Oh no"?
They go, because think about all the Marleyans on Marley. They obviously can't hear this speech. You think Annie's dad and whoever else we saw on Marley, they looked around and they were like, "We're not on Paradise, are we?"
Or even, here's the best one, Flock. At what point does Flock, who's got his sword stabbed in the sand, go, "Oh, I might have backed the wrong horse here"?
No,
or is he
Flock
or
is
the whole time
chotch.
Does he just stand up and give a genuine salute and like, "Yep, we're taking them all out"?
Flock is such a chotch. He is 100% down with this.
He just immediately sees that Aaron has the power, so he's just He's like, yeah, I'm riding with you, buddy.
Flotch the Chotch. I've always fucking hated this guy.
Aaron goes on. The Wall Titans will trample every inch of the world beyond this island until every last life beyond our shores is wiped out.
Oof.
While we see a shot of Chad, what are you calling this? Because this is much worse than Mr. Deviant Devilman. What have you come up with?
The Mad Lad himself, Dr. Genocidal Galapagos.
Oh, let me make sure I've got it. It's a mouthful. It doesn't. Let me say, my first note, and I haven't decided how I feel about it yet. My first note, it doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, so I'm really going to have to try here.
Okay, he's upgraded from the Mister. Imagine you've got a teacher.
Let me try and say it. Let me make sure that I remember how to say it.
And then I'll explain how it got.
Yeah. Dr. Genocidal Galapagos.
That's perfect.
Did I nail
you
it?
said it perfect.
Are you telling me, did you do this so we can call him Dr. Gigi?
Dr. Gigi, yes.
Okay, all right. Fantastic. Now, go on with the rest of your thoughts.
I just wanted to say he's not a Mister anymore.
It's really fucking stupid, by the way.
When a teacher has become such a good teacher and has worked so hard in the field and has got their masterates, their doctorates, they've become a doctor. That's what Aaron is too far. He's too far above to be called a Mister anymore. That's why he's Dr. Genocidal Galapagos.
All right, let me just check something real quick.
Are you seeing if those are words, real words?
Well, just like why Galapagos? Just because
that sounds like a dinosaur, and he looks like one. Okay.
Well, it's the Galapagos Islands.
That's where the dinosaur originated from.
You know,
the Aborigines they found the Galapagos dinosaur. The Galapagos Rex was originally from that island.
I don't know. It was made famous because that's where Charles Darwin, discovered evolution. But
and it did he not just evolutionize? Did he not just become he became evolution right here?
So are you just going off of the idea that he's trying to protect an island? So he's Dr. Genocidal Galapagos?
Well, I think it's safe to say he's about to perform genocide. So that's where the genocidal thing comes.
So then what about this part? Aaron spent so much of his life being like, I want to see what's on the outside of these walls. A few years down the line, now he's like, fuck the outside of these walls. I'm taking the walls down, but I am destroying everything else.
Here's the darker part. If he's moving along with these colossals, he's technically going to see the outside of these walls. He's going to get to see it freely without anybody trying to kill him. Or maybe he's saying, fuck this, if I'm not allowed to be free and live on this earth, I'm just going to take it all down.
I'm going to imprison myself to this island.
Well, let's say this. I think he's officially irredeemable no matter what happens. Because,
well, let's see where he goes with this.
Because even if he does succeed and he takes down the entire world, I can't imagine he's just going to go back into his human form and be all friendly with all of his buddies after killing who knows how many people are in this world. I would say billions, probably. I can't imagine that he would feel very proud of himself.
Yeah. So
it's not going to be a good end.
We were trying to figure out where he stood on Zeke's plan. Zeke was like, let's kill off an entire race. And then Aaron, turns out, he said, no. Let's kill every other race except for this race.
Which is wild. The start of the show, I'm going to kill all the Titans. Really what he meant to say is, I'm going to kill everybody that's not Titans.
Zeke tells him his plan, and Aaron's like, I would argue you're not going far enough.
Yeah. Yikes. Big yikes. Okay, well, I'll say this. Is Mikasa going to be happy about this?
No.
Okay. I think that's all that matters. If Mikasa and Armin are going to fully agree with him right here.
Not that I think I need an example to prove my feeling towards that, but if I did, I would point towards when she She talked with Aaron after saving him from the Jaw Titan back in Liberia, and she was like, Aaron, what have you done? And that was when he took out an apartment building and a couple stands in a theater. She didn't seem thrilled.
Good point. Okay, now who, besides Flotch the Chotch, who will be happy about this? Because I'm going to go out and say this. Flotch the Chotch, he's going to have the massive hard-on for this.
Yeah, he's going to be all about it.
He's going to be all about it. Is there anybody else that's going to be all about this? Any of Aaron's friends?
You mentioned it unbelievably, I might add, 3 minutes into the episode. Do we know where Kit's the Worryman Warrior is?
That's a good point. Where is this guy? And now, let's hope that he's not anywhere near the walls and he's safe.
What do we think about Louise? Is she ride or die still?
So, did anybody know that he was going to perform this task?
No.
You don't think any of the Jaegerist?
No. You think he told Wakeman? In your scenario, you think he had to sit down with Flock and the Squawk and said, oh, by the way, guys, here's my plan.
I'm going to kill everyone.
I think he might have forgotten to mention it.
So where do we go from here, Ronnie?
That's a really good question. I have no idea. I wouldn't even be able to begin to guess.
First off, is there any way to stop this?
It's going to be really slow. Colossals don't move quickly anyway. Imagine moving in water. You can't...
Yeah, it's going to be a long process.
We might get 2 episodes just of everyone on Colossal shoulders just having a chat. You know what I mean?
Oh, God,
they're going over the ocean, and they didn't take a ship. They just ride the Colossal Titans, and they're just having a chat on the way to wherever they're going.
So do you think... So you don't trust Aaron is what you're saying? Is there any way can be redeemed by this?
No. He's too far gone. Like, what? He's going to talk to Mikasa, and she's going to be like, Aaron, don't?
It sucks, man. It sucks. There's no hope for Aaron at all, obviously, but is there any hope for his friends? Is he ever going to get to talk to him again? Or is this just it?
Oh, yeah, he'll definitely talk to him eventually. Oh, my God, I can't even...
This is bad.
I don't know how...
This is very bad. If you're a human that's not standing on Paradise Island, this might be trouble.
I mean, it really is in such a point right now where it is like you said, can Aaron be redeemed at all? I say no, but also the only way that I could even make an educated guess on how this ends is Aaron. Like, what else is going to stop it at this point?
He's himself. You're saying that's the only way?
I mean, how else? Zeke obviously is pretty useless. I mean, maybe he comes up with something if he didn't get yanked by the vertebrae, like you mentioned. Now,
here's the even... Yeah, we got to go back and watch that. Here's the even darker part, too, is that there's not really... Like, this is his only choice. Think about it. His whole island, all of the people he cares about, were about to get taken out by the whole entire world. This really is, like, the only thing he can do. So it's not like... I mean, he is far gone, but this is his last choice. What else could he do? How else could he stop?
I think he does exactly what Armin says.
He just sends out a few of them.
You take a portion of the wall, you take down the Global Alliance, you show people, no, we're the ones with the power, leave us the fuck alone. And then I would say, I don't know, millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people could stay alive.
But that's not Dr. Genocide of Galapagos. That's not his style, bro.
No, I'm just taking a moment to perhaps poke a hole in your idea of this was the last option.
Well, I guess so, yeah.
He really sat down and thought about it, and he was like, gotta trample the entire world. And Jazz was sitting there with Flock like, yep. He was like, you gotta do what you gotta do. That's the last thing you can.
Oh, man. So let's think about Marley for a second. I want to think about people on Marley. Obviously, the Marley army, the main of it, is on the island. We got Magath, the general, all of them. So the Global Alliance, are they at Marley yet? I mean, they were supposed to all attack in, a month or two, we imagine? Soon, very soon.
I mean, that's the thing, too, is they had the Global Alliance, like, the big people of the Global Alliance already there. A lot of them are dead. So I don't even...
So, like, basically the armies of the world still haven't converged and are ready to fight, so this might spell trouble for them, too.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because the whole point of it was, like, Marley's army was trying to wait to get backup so they could go over, and they were like, no, we gotta hurry up because they got Falco and Gabby, and that's exactly what Zeke thinks we're gonna do, is that we're gonna wait, so...
And then think about this, too. If they were to try to go up to that Titan and kill his Titan, stop him, how do they even get up there first?
They're gonna need a couple ladders.
Couple ladders. I would say even more than a couple ladders.
Are you suggesting a few?
A few ladders. The extendo ones.
You're surpassing a couple ladders, and you were putting your foot down saying we're going to need a few ladders?
A few ladders.
Okay.
We're going to need a lot of tanks of gas, ODM gas gear.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to need all of the Thunder Spears that exist. And even then, I don't think that's doing anything. I think it's already over, the show. I don't think they have to show any more episodes.
I'm at a complete loss. I couldn't even make a prediction if I wanted to, as far as what's going to happen.
I mean, I could have never imagined Dr. Genocidal Galapagos would have
still 7 episodes. What do we even...
Should I just call him Dr. GG from now on, or do you want me to keep saying
I want you to say whatever you want to, buddy.
Okay.
All right?
Now, do you like it, the name?
It's a little confusing, but I like it.
Okay. Well, it's not that confusing.
Well, it's kind of confusing.
Well, let's see what the listeners have to say.
The genocidal is really the part that I can get behind you with. I don't know why he became a doctor. That part was he was always a mister.
Well, he's the son of...
He was always a mister, and then somewhere in the coordinate in the past, he got his doctorates.
He's a son and grandson of a doctor, but okay. And that's about this age is when Grisha took his dad's doctor clinic, so it all makes sense to me.
And then the Galapagos Islands, that was a connection that
he's on an island.
Confusing. All right. Anything else?
I think that about covers it. The ending right here. We see Kid Aaron with a scarf on.
Well, that is the end credits.
End credits, him with a scarf on.
Now it was kind of because we get the very spooky like drawing. I don't even know what it was.
Is that his face, his Titan face form?
I would say that's probably a good prediction. And then you go straight into this end credits where you get this wide-eyed Aaron wearing a scarf.
Ymir really had to take a lot of years to build that Titan.
And it was, Ymir, he had her he was holding her, and he said that. Is she looking down now going, ooh? She's like, it sounded like a good idea at the time, but now that I'm seeing it, ooh.
Yeah, it's sad, man.
Alrighty, well, I've been Ronnie.
I've been Chatty.
You gotta subscribe.
Levi gets the Titan Serum from some secret stash they had. We haven't even mentioned Levi, by the way. Levi and Hanji are out there somewhere. Annie comes back and somehow...
And they'll be able to fix this.
Yeah, Levi's got this under
Levi's got this figured out.
It was like when Erwin told Levi, he's like, I'm going to leave the Beast Titan to you. Hanji just tells... Hanji's the new commander. She's like, Levi, I'm going to leave Dr. GG to you.
Follow us on Twitter @PodcastChronic. Join the Discord.
Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Leave us 5 stars. Come on, people. We want it. Let's get us to a 200.
Yep, 200. Also, we need 200 subscribers on YouTube. We're close. We're getting there.
Oh, we are killing the game out here. Jeez, 200 subscribers.
Venmo us.
Peace.
Peace.